I'm off to pick some herbs, shove them in some eau de vie and see what we get. In there, behind there is Italy. Right, what have we got here anyway? I'm going to be picking some plant, a little bit of St. John's wort. That'll add like a bitterness to the plant, and it can add like a little bit of the colour red, which is nice. So I won't take loads. Look here, there is quite a bit of St. John's wort, so I'm happy to collect just some. What else have we got next to it? Bit of yarrow. Again, the kind of bitterness. It's got that Thujoni taste to it, so I think that's a sort of herbally taste. We'll grab a bit of that. Well, I want to gather maybe 12. Like it's a little bit of red clover. What I want is wormwood. What I really want is wormwood. Now, I saw some on the way up here, but we were driving, so it was. Alright, so I'm quite excited because this is only the second time I've found wormwood in the wild. Now, I'm grinning because I've once found some in Italy, and in fact, just over that mountain, just there, is where I've last found it. So it makes sense that it's here again. And that was, what, 2-3 years ago or something like that. And so this is the first time I've seen wormwood in flower, and I am genuinely very excited about finding it. But the smell, the smell of all of this, let alone in a drink, I can already work out the complexity that's going to happen. I can already work out how well this drink is going to taste. So just pick some cotton thistle from, that's bugwort for you, never know. So it's wild lettuce. But in Bristol it tends to grow in the cracks of pavements and just kind of on its own, straggly. But this is beautiful. Also called compass lettuce, because the tops are supposed to point like compasses. I've never really quite seen that. But infuse these leaves in a bit of gin, a bit of spirit of your choosing, and it gives you kind of opium-like effect. I find it a bit trippy. Someone did die from overdosing on it, so be careful. But for this infusion right now, it should have a desired sort of small opiate-like effect and a kind of bitter flavour to it as well. But this is rose bay willow herb. This one, rose bay willow herb fireweed, also known as. This is a beautiful example as well. Really thick, really just a beautiful specimen up here. Now I'm on a different mountain. Just thought I'd get around a bit. So I'm going to pick the flowers of this. I won't take flowers totally off of one. Well, I could. There's plenty around actually. And what I like about rose bay willow herb is when you forage it, if you have a look, there's flowers all the way up and flowers all the way down. So they come into season gradually. And so there's always something for the bees to have. So it doesn't feel like, as I'm plucking the flowers off, that I'm taking away anything from the habitat of any insect. You know, what my small actions might change, what repercussions they have. So in that respect, just have a few flowers, and that will give colour, and there's a little flavour that comes from it as well. So then we have that. Yeah, so that's, I think we're on plant 9. Here, let's have a taste. Each spruce, and you can use the needles of spruce and you can use the needles of spruce and pine over there. Spruce and pine infused to get a kind of citrusy flavour. lemon flavour. Oh, it's beautiful. So piney, herby, and sort of turpentine, you know. So some of those flavours that you get from an IPA. In fact, you can use these tips in a beer and it can be very nice. I've had one made by a brewer, ridiculous amount, far too many. It's very nice, but sparingly. A few needles make a really good beer. So yeah, that's going to add in our drink. So I think we're on like 9 or 10. A few different spruce tips, a few different types of spruce, and have that as a kind of myriad of flavours. Yeah, and they do all work very differently. There we go, we've got it. We've got 12 different herbs. So I've got sumac, some spruce, a bit of wormwood, rosebay widow herb, St. John's wort, wild lettuce, mugwort, and the wild carrot. Another bit of different type of spruce, and red clover, yarrow, and some cotton thistle. Now each of these will add something different, so I'm going to put them in one by one and explain why I've chosen them. But by putting this much sumac, you're going to get a little bit of red colouring coming through, and you get a lot of kind of lemony, citrony kind of flavour coming through, and again some more lemon citron, but sort of slightly more herbally with a bit of pine from the spruce tips. And I'm going to peel them off of the wood. And then the absinthe, or the wormwood, slightly overdo it with that because it's got a sweetness to it, and it's got that kind of herbal taste. It would be more akin to an absinthe, though without the aniseedy flavour. I'm going to put all the rosebay widow herb in it and have a nice bit of purpley colour adding to it. Red, we should get a red and a bitterness coming through from the St. John's wort. This should add a little bit of trippiness, which should be interesting. So it should add to, it's going to be an end of the night drink, and this helps you sleep. You don't want to overdo it. There was a geezer in Wales that took a load of this and died. He infused, I think, a pint and drank a pint, and his heart stopped. So this stuff does come with that warning. If you've got, it's wild lettuce, or compass lettuce it gets called as well. So wild lettuce comes with a warning. If you're on heart medication, don't come anywhere near it. And it is a little bit gung-ho and quite near, I guess, but you know, it's a herb that I like, that's why it's really. So mugwort, this will add to the trippy dream, so that should help you sleep. Mugwort is supposed to make you dream of the future, so we'll see what happens there. And then, actually there will be an aniseedy flavour that comes through from the wild carrot. Now this is, they're not quite fully mature seeds, and so there's an extra bitterness that comes through to them. Plants will emit a bitter chemical when they're going from flower to seed, and this is really to stop what's taking them. It's supposed to put us off. It doesn't work, does it? So a bit more lemony bitterness coming through actually. That is much more lemony, so that was really fine lemony. So it's got that kind of lifty lemon flavour that you get with lemonade. And very light, you'll get a kind of almost pea-like earthiness coming from that, but it's not much. Again, the yarrow will get a herbally bitterness and then a muskiness coming through from the cotton thistle. And there we have our 12 plants. Cheap off-the-shelf vodka. Just cover it over. And look how beautiful that is. We'll give it a stir up. And I'll let that infuse, maybe not even overnight. We're going to try that tonight and see what it's like. And I'm going to spill loads everywhere as well. So yeah, that's cool. So cheers, there's tonight's booze. I've got some kombucha to mix it with, and we'll see how that works. So cheers, there we have. It's been infusing for, I don't know, an hour or 2 hours, but long enough. You get some flavour come through. I'm going to filter it through a coffee filter. I haven't got much colour. You do have a wood lamp. But there, yeah, a slight pinkness. It's not too bad. So I'll do a little shot and get an idea of the flavour. Definitely got a smell of the spruce tips and a smell of the wormwood. And the worm was very strong, in fact. Maybe a touch too bitter, so I'm going to try this. Stir in a bit of sugar, just to take that bitterness away. And I think maybe with a little bit of kombucha as well. This is actually fermented kombucha with grenadine in it, so kombucha with pomegranate. That's just going to keep fizzing. Right, very gentlemanly. Wow, that's a drink. Let's get some sugar in it. So I don't know if all 12 is coming through. Certainly overpowering with the ones, but I think there's something there, you know. Try another. Definitely, like the bitterness is too strong, so I want to kind of bring that back down again. So it's all a question of getting the balance right. And okay, like it's worth having an aperitif if you want something quite bitter and quite kind of complex like that. Now that's perfect. It's something that you've got that herbally, Thajoni, like definitely absinthe taste coming through. You've got the flavour of the citron, so you've got the flavour of the spruce tips coming through. The wild carrot played down a little bit, so there's a small little arrow through it, I'd say, of the aniseed, definitely there too. Sumac I don't think did anything. Bit of mugwort, tiny bit of yarrow. I think maybe overpowered somewhat for the St. John's wort. And the wild lettuce. Wait to see what the effects of that are like. But you know, I'm going back, I'm drinking more. And it's not just because I like my booze, this is very nice. It's very nice indeed. Cheers.